I'm back. So I was supposed to have a supposed interview today, but you know how it is with remote job stuff. You have to deal with scam shit, and that's stupid. I really hate all that stupid stuff, and I have to explain the details of the bullshit of whatever is just let's just begin reading Umineko. Anyway, I'm back. So, let's begin. It seems we managed to make it through the first day. Natsu could be seen in the study, where she muttered as though to herself. Gold butterflies appeared and formed the shape of a person. We mustn't let our guards down. I can't imagine we'll last through tomorrow if we simply sit around here. So as I suspected, simply saying father's in a bad mood and refuses to come out won't be enough to deceive them completely. Indeed. It seems that last year left them quite suspicious. Oh. Oops. Okay, hold on. Let me turn it up. How's this? I can't have it too loud, but I'll try. But it should be okay. Okay. Indeed, it seems last year left them quite suspicious. Oh wait, no. This is not Beatrice's line, I'm sorry. Indeed, it seems last year left them quite suspicious. Because of that, the toxin has expanded and is coiling itself around the study, growing ever tighter. That's good. I imagine it goes beyond mere suspicions raised last year. That's right. The toxin has grown too thick to be explained away by that alone. Someone must have suspected Kinzo's death since last year and is strongly intent on exposing that secret at this year's family conference. Does that mean we haven't fully deceived them even a full year ago? Unfortunately, it's probably best to assume, given our current situation, the typhoon will remain here tomorrow and the boat will not come for them until the day after. In short, we must endure another 36 hours at the very least. It may not be visible to your eyes, Natsuhi, but the closed room barrier sealing this room was once very firm. Tonight, however, has been worn down almost to the point of crumbling, like dry leaves awaiting a windstorm. No, the storm is already here. Natsuhi, I propose that we switch from the closed room barrier to something else. What do you mean by that? Are you suggesting we change our plan? That is correct. Oops. Okay. Let's make that Renove's voice. I think that's him. Renove. That is correct. Virgilia and I will reconstruct a bear similar to last year's. In other words, we'll take Kinzo out of the study and have him walk a tightrope shadow from shadow where the toxin can't reach, just like last year. Wait. It may be dangerous, but I would like to second her proposal. Wait, hold on. I need to remember, who the heck is this? Okay. I think it's Beatrice speaking, my bad. In other words, we'll take Kinzo out of his study and have him walk tightrope from... What? I'm sorry. Let's try that again. In other words, we'll take Kinzo out of the study and have him tightrope walk from shadow to shadow where the toxin can't reach, just like last year. It may be dangerous, but I would like to propose her... What the hell? No! Wait, he's messing up. Let's try again. In other words, we'll take Kinzo out of the study and have him walk... Why? Why do I keep messing up? You know what? I'll just read the last line and I'll just worry about that part later. It may be dangerous, but I would like to second her proposal. Is this a joke? Do you truly intend to change the plan this far in? When one realizes they cannot withstand a siege, they must consider the option of abandoning the castle. Right now, this room is like a castle surrounded by enemy troops with its walls about to crumble. If staying put means certain death, then you also have the option of riding out for one last stand and an honorable defeat. After all, surrender doesn't seem to be an option in this fight. I'll protect Father's secret until the very end. If it's discovered, we'll have no chance to talk our way out of it. My husband's embezzlement will be exposed to the light of day, and the Ushiramiya family's honor will be destroyed. We must remain firm and prevent that no matter what may happen. I am not sure, but she did show up.
Calm down, I understand you. Process alchemy will soon yield great results. If we can just make it through this year, we'll manage. So don't get flustered.
But we used this strategy precisely because we wouldn't be able to pull off the same trick as last year, right? Isn't it the height of stupidity to return to a plan you previously abandoned because it was impossible? So what sort of plan could we hope to make at this point? Renove and I will prepare one. Leave it to us for creating illusions, is what witches do. All you have to do is give us your permission, Natsuhi.
Teacher and Renove are quite reliable at times such as these, and the servants of the One-Winged Eagle are top-notch furniture. Once Teacher and Renove rebuild the magic we need, I imagine the servants will work hard to protect it. Still, it isn't too late. Let's take Kinzo out of the study and make that illusion walk around.
Did you forget we chose our current strategy because we considered plans like that and couldn't find anything that would work? It would be the height of foolishness to get flustered in an emergency and carelessly throw away our primary plan. But Natsuhi, as you stand there amidst the toxin, you must realize better than anyone else that we will no longer be able to outlast this siege. I propose that we try to think of another plan without changing our objective of holding the fort. In any event, as long as we can keep this room sealed, no one will be able to deny Father's existence. After all, one cannot determine the contents of a cat box that no number of people would ever hope to open.
Well, that may be true, but humans are capable of defying reason. It's possible for them to eat into an airtight cat box and go inside like black ants closing in on a box of cake. Lady Berncastle's piece also worries me.
It was fortunate that Erika stole the show at tonight's dinner. By doing that, she created an atmosphere in which it was possible to close down the family conference for the night. If you all had returned directly to the family conference as usual, the barrier might have broken tonight. However, it also made the toxin grow even thicker. After it thickens all night, it might manage to penetrate the closed room barrier with ease. Whether we continue to hold down the fort or not, we will not make it through tomorrow unless we prepare a new strategy and a new barrier.
Lady Berncastle may have some sort of plan for breaking the closed room barrier. We can't take that piece called Erika lightly.
Come to think of it, that man who mentioned taking revenge for the events of 19 years ago might also be a piece of Lady Berncastle's. This board achieved equilibrium with 18 pieces, but now has 2 undesired pieces added to it. There are too many irregularities this year.
Pixar didn't happen. Over. Yes, it's her DLC. No, it's her Mary Sue OC insert character. Do not steal. Lady Berncastle is a fan of Eastern things. In shogi or Japanese chess, you aren't allowed to drop pieces in during a game.
Yes, that is possible. Even the act of dropping a queen from the captured pile right in front of the enemy king is an allowable trump card in shogi.
I wonder what that man who claimed to have a connection from 19 years ago is doing now. Is he already hiding somewhere on this island? That girl called Erika was able to appear by claiming to have drifted here. That man might also have landed on somewhere on this island despite the typhoon, and he may be hiding somewhere now. And it's going to be hard to fully deceive the relatives any longer. Why? Why have so many irregular things happen at the same time? How can you explain this nightmarish miracle of coincidence?
Natsui slammed the desk hard, held her head, and cringed at the pain from her overwhelming headache.
Lady Berncastle controls miracles. There is no point in being surprised at irregularities or miracles when she is around.
While shogi is a game in which the enemy piece might suddenly appear in front of a king. For that very reason, you build up a perfect formation that won't allow for a weakness, artistically constructing a castle around your king.
Berncastle dropped in like a whale.
In that case, isn't holding the fort exactly what we should be doing now? Perhaps if we had a fort that we could hold, but we cannot hope for such a thing now. It is difficult to corner a king with no avail to his back. Wait, what? Let's try that again. It is difficult to corner a king with no wall to his back, and even more difficult to corner one with open spaces in all directions. Think of a mouse. You can catch a mouse that's shut in a cage. However, catching a mouse in a field is like trying to catch a cloud.
Natsuhi, please allow us to consider this option. Kinzo will leave his study and wander around the mansion on a whim, avoiding the gazes of the relatives. We will think of a natural-seeming plan for this by morning.
Don't you see the danger? If we're willing to consider such a dangerous option, would it be better to continue acting as though father's in this room in a bad mood?
Tomorrow the relatives will crowd around the study once again. They'll be right on the other side of that single door. When that happens, just how long do you intend to make it seem like they're having a yelling match with Kinzo? It's impossible!
And we must find some way to propose that possibility for 36 hours! If you tell me to do it, I will! I am Ushiromiya Natsuhi, the wife of the Ushiromiya family head! If you tell me to do that, I will act out a shouting match with father for as many days as it takes! Ah!
Even Natsuhi realized that she could never manage it, but she no longer saw any chance of victory from a plan that involved an illusion of Kinzo walking around, banging on the desk several times with tears of rage streaming down her face. Natsuhi alternated between groaning from her headache and placing the blame on one thing or another. It made one feel that there must be some sort of curse that made anyone who sat in the chair act that way. This is like a game of mating shogi, where you are the one on the defensive. In mating shogi, the opponent has no key, and you have no way of winning other than avoiding a checkmate for a predetermined number of moves. And to think that I must escape for a whole day and a half's worth of moves. It's just too many.
Don't stop thinking, and don't give up. I'll listen to your complaints, so don't have a fit. Your unshaking will overcome this trial to bring you success with certainty. That's the power of the Witch of Certainty for you. You must not lose to that magical power. Believe that you will overcome this no matter what. I'm sure you'll think of a brilliant plan. Therefore, you mustn't give up and you mustn't stop thinking.
You're right. I understand. Only I can overcome this hardship.
That is correct. Didn't Kinzo entrust you with the job of overcoming these challenges? Kinzo acknowledged that you are worthy of that responsibility.
Father! Father! Ah!
Teacher and Renobe will think of a move. Of course, I will think as well. However, even when we cannot do without permission from our master, from you. So at the very least, don't abandon your will to fight. Don't give up.
I understand, but I'm already all tired out, and I can't stand this headache. Why is it that I'm crying here all alone in this frigid study? Why isn't my husband here for me now? Back when dinner ended, Kraus claimed to be dizzy and went to bed early. Of course, he had done this to get enough rest to ready himself for the long day ahead. But to Natsuhi right now, it felt as though he'd just gone straight to sleep and pushed the entire burden on her. However, complaining about such a thing would mean her failure as a wife. Isn't it a good wife's duty to work hard and put family first, even when her husband is resting? Filled with regret even at her anger toward her husband, unable to determine at whom she should be angry, Natsuhi continued to sob. I would just say, screw Kraus, get out of here. If Kinzo could only just speak kindly to her at these times. Beto searched for him, but Kinzo had been nowhere to be seen in the study for some time now. Perhaps Natsuhi had noticed this as well. Though she bragged that fighting alone and support from behind was the responsibility of a good wife, without anyone to tell her this was really necessary, she was now so frail she couldn't even stop her own tears. Just as Beto was trying to think of words to console Natsuhi, Virgilia tapped her lightly on the shoulder. Sometimes, when the words of consolation don't come from the mouth of the right person, they can do more harm than good. So Virgilia silently told Beto that remaining silent was the best course of action for now. Hi, sorry to interrupt.
I know I'm an outsider, but I wonder if you'd let me speak. Gap, please restrain yourself for the time being. No, in this room there's no distinction between outsiders, guests, and the rest of us. You may speak. Thank you. Renove said it himself a while ago. This is a mating shogi with you on the defensive. How do you lose in mating shogi? It's when your king is checkmate, right?
That goes without saying, and the opponent has no king. So therefore all Natsui can do is have her king run away constantly.
I see. So you're thinking of that move. Has that time already come?
What do you mean? Do you mean there's some sort of move remaining to us?
It's what you proposed in the very beginning about how to hide Goldsmith's death. I'm trying to say the time comes for us to use that.
You mean having him go missing? You mean to make that move right now during the family conference? That's too dangerous! Once they successfully resolve all their problems, they would have to lay Kinzo to rest. The best way to do that was to make him disappear. One day Kinzo would go out into the forest and never return. They wouldn't be able to find him no matter how much they searched, so he would be declared missing.
You said it yourself a second ago, Riche. You can't catch a mouse that's escaped into a field, and you can't catch a goldsmith who's disappeared into the forest.
You plan for us to talk our way out of this like that? To use such a move now when such suspicions against us is greatest would be no better than us and... bleh. Okay. Let's try this. Okay. Let me think. Okay. You plan for us to talk our way out of this like that. To use such a move now, when the suspicion against us is greatest, would be no better than a death wish.
Oh, they will probably suspect it. Such a move would most certainly lead to mistrust. However, even if they were to set foot in the study, they would find nothing to aid them. It would never again be possible for them to keep Kinzo pinned down, and no matter how much they suspected his death, they'd be unable to prove it.
Forget about a mere 36 hours. You'd be able to protect Kinzo's secret forever that way, right?
Of course, we'll also have to bear an appropriate risk.
If you make that move, you may be able to overcome this particular challenge, but we cannot even guess at how much prestige you might lose for it.
Even so, it's a move that will most certainly overcome our current challenge. Of course, you'll have them face an even greater suspicion, but you won't die.
Yes, that may be true, but...
During the Great Kanto earthquake, the Ushinomiya family should have died. However, the mad genius goldsmith revived it so splendidly that it is now something you desire to protect. So this time, it's up to you and your husband, the new head, and his wife to do the same.
Oh, is that how you intend to stir her up?
I'm not stirring her up. I'm just asking if she's prepared to be the wife of the head. Are you prepared to protect the Ushinomiya family even if you end up getting dragged in through the dirt to do it?
I am prepared.
Then now is the time. If you can survive by being dragged through the dirt, then crawl with all your might. You'll inch your way through this world of suffering and eventually you'll restore that glory. I, Gap, the 33rd in rank, promise you this.
Gap.
The fact that I came to play at a time like this must be a sign from the gods of happenstance. I'll keep this promise, Ushinomiya Natsuhi. I require nothing in return. Riche, the one who serves you, has already paid me plenty in advance.
Gap may have seemed irresponsible, but she actually possessed a strong sense of duty. She was the kind of person who just couldn't leave someone in trouble alone. Payment in advance? Oh, when did I do that? I have no memory of such a thing.
Oh, I just mean those magical items you couldn't remember where you put. I made off with quite a few of them.
What? So that was your doing after all? Give them back! Give my illusionary silver crystal and moonstick! I still haven't played around with them together just yet. Hahaha, Sailor Moon. And Natsuhi, it looks like Sailor Jupiter.
That's just the sort of magic and strategy you can expect from me. I can hide Goldsmith away in a world where no one will be able to find him. Let me know the instant you need that magic. Until then, feel free to think of another safer plan. True. Having alternatives is beneficial for your peace of mind. And without that, you'll never think of a brilliant plan. Natsuhi, we have quite some time remaining to us tonight. Let's leave Gap's strategy as the final trump card and iron out a plan of our own for now. Please give us permission. And please give us the trust, magical power, and absolute conviction we'll need to succeed without fail. Oh yes, with Erica. Goodness gracious. If you have faith, I'll make your dreams come true. If you succumb to doubt, then I will make those nightmares come true. You must build your own future. Kinzo would disappear, and right in the middle of this family conference. Such a move would truly be a last resort. Bearing this final trump card in her heart, Natsuhi decided she would grope around for a different plan until the last second. After all, this long night had only just begun. Burn Castle and her piece had just as long to prepare as Natsuhi did. Oh yeah, Gap. That's true. She stole from Beatrice, and Beatrice wants to act out her fantasy of being Sailor Moon. Gouge the foot and kill, and that completes it.
I see. So that was really what gouge meant. Once again, my reasoning was correct.
The feeling of this time was clearly different from the previous times, as though some sort of device had activated. However, as far as a quick glance could tell, there was no dramatic change such as an entrance or some sort of opening. Apparently, they would need to do just a little more before they could find it. That's true! Yeah, it's like, just kidding! Or ping pong! or during the Valentine scene where she was like, oops, I accidentally broke the magic. You're incredible. If we really do find the gold, we'll have to split together.
Enjoying the intellectual stimulation is enough for me. The only thing I like is solving riddles. The only reward I need is proof that I was right.
She shrugged it off, implying that just seeing the gold would be enough. Then she crouched down, purely fixedly at the locking mechanism. It's definitely no mistake to say this girl really loves solving riddles. Also, I'm not going to use the R word when she uses it. I'm going to change it to a different word. I don't know. For her, treasure hunting is all about the delicious process of exposing secrets. So she has no interest whatsoever in getting the treasure for herself and becoming a billionaire.
I see. Pretty cocky of you setting up a device like this. The mistake you all made was letting me on the island in the first place. Simply by the existence of the epitaph in that place, this level of reasoning is possible for Fudo Erica. What do you think, everyone?
As she said this to the now exposed contraption, she grinned. Her smile was triumphant, but it was more fully characterized by the small bit of unpleasant disdain contained within. After solving the riddle, she was probably reveling in the pleasure of having won against the one who had proposed it. And she enjoyed her ability to scoff at this person now.
If we find the gold now, the successor won't be Kraus, but you.
Well, I wonder.
Isn't Kraus kind of arrogant? You might even call him a braggart. It'll be pretty amusing to see him lose both the gold and his position as a successor to his nephew in a single course of a night, won't it?
Erica was still crouched down as she spoke, her back to Balor as she toyed around with the device.
Jessica was her name, right? The girl who talked back to me?
Yeah?
She really was acting big about her father being the successor. When she wakes up tomorrow and learns that you've inherited all the gold, and that her father's no longer the successor, I wonder what kind of expression she'll have on her face.
I've got no intention of keeping that 20 billion to myself. Well, if I've got even 10%, that'd be as much as I could handle. We can split the rest fairly amongst the family. I'm even less interested in being the successor. I'm glad to let Uncle Kraus deal with that.
Will you really be able to sell things that easily in the end? Well, rather than trying to make guesses about that, I imagine it'll be more fun to guess at the expression Jessica wears tomorrow and what kind of sad excuses she'll try to make.
You really do have a nasty personality.
Oh? Couldn't you reason that out from the time you learned that I like solving riddles? I'm an intellectual ravager who enjoys exposing things people try to hide, get it? The same thing goes for solving the epitaph's riddle.
I'll bet you want to expose the gold grandfather worked so hard to hide.
Yes, that was my goal at first, but it changed partway through.
Partway through? Changed to what?
I mean Jessica. She butted in on my reasoning, contaminating the pure and noble time. Ever since then, I've been trying to solve the epitaph so I could teach Jessica a lesson.
Are you serious?
I'll make all opponents surrender no matter who they are. That's my sole pleasure. Do you still need me to reason out for you? Ushinomiya Jessica irritated me. That's why I wanted to put her in her place and decided to solve the epitaph. That's what led to the emotions I hold now. Can you reason out what those emotions are?
This time I turned my back on her in earnest. Did I get a bit too excited about this riddle-solving game, letting her drive me on and do something terrible? Ugh, she is. It's like, way to be mean to Jessica. That's right. It should have been possible to reason this out. If the riddle is solved, the relatives will probably freak out about who the successor should be. Dad and the others will probably push for me to discover it to be the successor, and some relatives not thrilled with that prospect will probably expose them. Despite how adamantly Erica affirmed it isn't written anywhere that the one who solves the riddle of the epitaph becomes the successor. Because of this, it'll lead to a fight between those who acknowledge that theory and those who don't. If I reason out what will happen next, as Erica did, it'll probably lead to a messy fight between Uncle Kraus and the rest of the relatives. And now that I solved the riddle, will Jessica admire me or curse me? I don't want to think about that now. Erica was still mumbling. Apparently, she'd already started trying to reason it out. As I began to feel very bad, I vaguely gazed out into the black night. Valor, spacing out as Erica talks to herself about something. At that time, I looked at a dim outdoor light and saw the silhouette of a person in front of it. I thought I must be seeing things. After all, it was unthinkable that someone could have been standing there this whole time, pounded by the rain, without even an umbrella. However, the silhouette didn't move an inch. And maybe, no, it couldn't be. It was looking at me. And it was... Grandfather. At that moment, I understood. Grandfather's probably been watching us solve the riddle this whole time, and he watched as we spectacularly solved the whole thing. Without a doubt, there was a faint smile on Grandfather's face. Grandfather, who had never worn anything except moody and frightening expressions, looked at me in the eye and smiled at me for the first time. Almost as though he was saying, "How impudent!" or else, "I never would have thought it would be you!" However, this is still the result that Grandfather's epitaph chose, so I'm sure that he accepted that result. In the end, he grinned one more time. Of course, he didn't use words. His smile seemed to be wordlessly saying, "Well done!" I didn't know how I should respond. I couldn't do anything but stand there in shock, ignoring Erica as she crouched down, mumbling with her back toward me. Erica talking to herself as Valor doesn't give a shit. Then Grandfather stretched a hand out from the folds of his cloak and pointed at something. When I looked in that direction, there was the thing he was pointing at. It was probably the signpost of the Golden Land. Go! I'm sure Grandfather said that one word. I nodded to show that I understood. After watching that, Grandfather nodded back satisfied. Then, with a spin of his cloak, he disappeared, seeming to melt into the darkness. The expression on his face at the end was a smile that was, for the first time, truly satisfying.
Are you listening, Battler? Did you hear my reasoning?
I found it. That's the signpost to the Golden Land.
Huh? It's facing a different direction than it used to. I see. So it means go that way. You've got some pretty good powers of observation.
Grandfather told me about it.
Huh? Kinzo. Where is he?
None of your business. That bitch always saying some shit. Valor looks like he... Sometimes Valor looks like he just wants to bitch slap her. But it's like... Well, I don't hit girls, so... Oh wait, no, wait. Unless they go too far. Right now she's just being mean.
I'm going. Let's have a look at what you're showing us. Just what is this Golden Land?
I swear, only Ava likes her. We started to walk. The entrance to the Golden Land was right there.
So, my epitaph has finally been solved. And it was Battler who did it. Wonderful! Couldn't be any better.
When I think about it... Oh wait. Oops, this is Kinzo. My bad.
When I think about it, I was also ahead that no one saw coming. How amusing that the one to succeed me is just as surprising. I have no more regrets in life. Beatrice, I am coming to join you, along with a present, the miracle chosen by my epitaph. Battler of all people, that Battler!
What? I'm sorry?
At the very, very end of my life, I have seen a true miracle.
I swear he's never in actual serious scenes for a reason.
Beatrice! I've won this bet!
It doesn't help that I am not a guy. That's true! Yeah, instead of WarioWare, it's KinzoWare! I want to make a couple of spoiler jokes, but then, like, that would ruin it. So I can't do that. So we can't say that. Yahoo!
Except for its non-corrosive properties, there's no practical way to turn gold into money. I imagine it'd take a lot of work to exchange all of this for cash.
At the end of the crude underground tunnel in a VIP room so beautiful it seemed improper was a pile of gold so large that there could be no doubting its 20 billion yen worth. Erica was calm, but Valor couldn't suppress his excitement. Asked her which of the two was the correct reaction to show after seeing the amount of gold. Only those who saw the scene with their own eyes could say for sure. In this day and age, it's said that the average salaryman earns about 200 million yen in wages over his life, and this 20 billion yen worth of gold. With even 100 of this gold mountain, a single human could live their entire life without working. What is labor? Isn't it the very point of a human's life, since a person who doesn't work cannot eat? If so, then 200 million yen is enough to make a single person's life complete. And this is 20 billion yen! This would account for the labors of 100 humans, no, a single human life 100 times over! Of course, if you still wanted to work, you could. Any money you'd gain as a result could be used to play with. After all, you would already have enough money to live for your entire life. No, for eternity! No, wait, I mustn't keep it all to myself. I can split it among 100 people. If I could create a world where a full 100 humans wouldn't have to work for their whole lives, just what kind of world would that be? Oh, that would be so nice. Yeah, there's no doubt at all. This is the Golden Land. Alright, hold on.
Weep about Beatrice! Hate your children! Gouge the head! Gouge the stomach! Gouge the knee!
There you go! Burn Battler magnificently discovered the gold. Congrats! I had her hide the more central parts of it, but what's wrong with being just a little mean, right?
Sure, do as much as you like. I'm not interested in the micro details about what kind of riddle it was or what kind of answer it had. The important thing as a result, 10 tons of gold were discovered. The gold was discovered in the third game as well by Aunt Ava. Aunt Rosa also witnessed it. However, the two of them hadn't spoken of the gold's discovery to anyone. In other words, there was a chance the gold's discovery was a cat box truth kept between the two of them. More specifically, it was possible the gold didn't exist and was just an illusion. However, I have finally found it. The cat box has been opened.
It'd be a waste of time to do that repeat game, so I'll give you a little bonus. This amount of gold is real. All the ingots piled up here are pure real gold. There's absolutely no tricks such as replicas or fakes.
Okay, I got it. I'll accept that this gold exists. However, there are still some things I can't accept. Of course. You met with him, didn't you? With Kinzo.
Even though Kinzo's supposedly an illusion, you met with him just a second ago, right? I guess that really was magic, wasn't it?
Ridiculous. I didn't exchange any words with Grandfather. I only felt as though Grandfather and I had exchanged words. Give it a rest. The same move won't work again.
In that case, your blue truth, if you please.
I was probably in an excited state after solving the epitaph's riddle. Then I mistook something for Grandfather. For example, maybe there was some kind of sheet or cover that had gotten caught in the dark in the grove of the trees, which looked like Grandfather wearing a pitch black pure coat. As a result, I mistakenly thought that I had some sort of conversation with Grandfather. Blue truth valid. Well, I did say the exact same thing in blue. So did it work? Where's your counter with the red truth?
I had none. At least not now, okay?
The me who let out a strange yell in front of the gold mountain was finally starting to regain his cool. Now that we found it, there's no covering it up. I vaguely considered this keeping the discovery a secret. However, Erica wanted to prove her own reasoning was correct by announcing this to everyone. Quick, kill her! Shut her up! Become the new culprit. She really is an intellectual ravager, just as she says. The puzzle-solving game is what is important to her. And she doesn't intend to take any responsibility for what happens after the riddle is solved. A riddle is sort of like a lock. Locks exist to be locked, and they're only significant when they're locked. Therefore, it ought to be essential to have some goal in mind when exposing such a thing. However, to this girl, the act of exposing it herself is her final goal. She has no intention of taking responsibility or anything that happens later. Maybe the true storm to hit Rokkenjima isn't the typhoon, but her. She won't keep this discovery secret. She'll definitely announce it so she can brag about her success. Then she'll call a real storm down upon this island. I won't be able to keep this covered up. In that case, there's nothing to do but announce this fact fairly to all. I can't imagine what will happen after that. As she grinned, Erica muttered to herself. She must have been anticipating the uproar the relatives would soon bring about. To her, merely imagining that was far sweeter than 20 billion yen in gold.
Simply by the existence of the epitaph in that place, this level of reasoning is possible for Furuto Erica. What do you think, everyone?
She really, really loves herself, I swear.